Yes, people, what's going on? It's your boy CJ from the Gunner's Corner. We are back with another, or I should say, a new feature of the podcast. It's going to be a pre-match preview, this one. And what we're going to be doing going forward is we're going to be giving you pre-match previews with predicted lineups as well as post-game player ratings. So ramping up the content on the channel. So just continue to like and subscribe and support us as we continue on this journey. But yeah, in this case, without further ado, the pre-match preview is Brentford versus Arsenal. Um, and we are going to be, I guess, taking on a side that's in form, right? An informed Brentford who's just coming off of a 3-2 victory at St. James's Park against Newcastle on the weekend. And yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? Where we go from here means we need 3 points. You know, yesterday or not yesterday, sorry, on the Sunday, at the time of recording this it is Wednesday evening. On Sunday we saw City take all 3 points against Liverpool, and at the time of recording as well, City have just beaten Fulham 3-0 at the Etihad Stadium. So the pressure is really on us. The pressure is on us to go out there to perform, um, and to get the 3 points, right? And so Mikel Arteta had his press conference today. He had a couple of interesting things to say. Spoke about Max Dowman and said Max Dowman is about a week away, right? From joining the group at least. So he's returning to full fitness, but we don't expect Max Dowman to be a big feature at this moment in time. At least with regards to our run in and with our ambitions to win the league and compete on all fronts. Um, with regards to, the three other big players that he gave updates to, and that's or it wasn't really much of an update, but questions were asked about Leandro Trossard, Bukayo Saka, and Martin Odegaard. Now we were told. Um, we'll see, right? Basically, we'll see what the medical team has to say in their follow-up meeting. And at the time of his interview, it wasn't determined the status of those three players. So, we're gonna have to wait and see what comes out with regards to the availability of Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Leandro Trossard. Now, my thing is, I think Arsenal under Arteta keeps cards close to their chest with regards to who's going to be, fit and available, right? We've seen, injured players all throughout our time or Arteta's time at Arsenal. He doesn't give too much away, right? He likes to keep it close to his chest. So we're not really going to know, I feel like, until, the lineup comes out and we see who's on the bench, who's starting to know where we're at with those players. So it's a guessing game. Trossard could be available, I find, maybe, and I could be wrong, but Trossard could be available. He came off at the weekend against Sunderland, and he came off and he went straight down to the bench. He didn't go down the tunnel, so that's always a good sign. So he could be available. I have a feeling Bukayo Saka, they were saying that he's supposed to be back for the North London Derby in less than 2 weeks' time. That's the game that they were sort of aiming for him to come back. I have a feeling he could be available before that. But we don't know for sure, right? He's targeting the Derby. Um, Maybe tomorrow comes too soon for him against Brentford away, that might come a little bit too soon for him. So I don't expect him to be in the lineup. Martin Odegaard, maybe he could be on the bench. I'm also not sure about that one, but he could be on the bench. Let's see, right? Let's see what happens. And let's see if he features. We were told that he's not too far away, Martin Odegaard. Where I'm at with that is nonetheless, I don't think I'd be starting Odegaard regardless because Odegaard, he's been part of the criticism of our slow, lethargic build of football over the course of the season so far. And our recent run of wins and run of games has come when he hasn't been in the side, interestingly enough, right? So regardless of whether he's fit and available or not, I'd probably keep him on the bench, at least, to start with, have him on the bench, and then we'll kick on. If you need to bring one off the bench, by all means. But again, like I said, if he is available, have him on the bench for now. Have him on the bench, and then we can call upon him if needs be, because the team has been doing well without him at this moment in time. Mikel Arteta, sorry, was asked about Man City and the win against Liverpool on the weekend and what that will do to us and the group and how we're going to cope with that. And in typical Arteta fashion, he said we got to focus on what we do, which is the truth. Can't worry too much about their results, right? That's a big result for them, but at the end of the day, the pressure will tell one way or another, and we got to hold our nerve. We got to control what we can control, And I think that was the response that he was basically saying. He wanted to shut all that down immediately with regards to, Man City's results. And I'm paraphrasing, but the focus is on what we do, right? Which is the truth. So without further ado, I'm going to get into my predicting 11 for this one. Let's see what we think that he'll go with. It's always hard to predict. Again, it depends on the fitness of certain players. But my predicting 11 and what I think he's going to go with is David Raya is going to go in goal. Of course, that's our number one. There's no questions about that. Urian Timber, he's been in training. We saw the training videos and photos come out. He's been in training. I think Urian Timber slots back in at right back, or stays at right back, I should say. There's a case for Ben White, who's been a little bit hard done by. One would say he's a quality player, but he's been on the bench the last few games. But that's because Timber's our best right back at the moment. And I think for the importance of the game, Timber stays at right back. Ben White can come in on the weekend against Wigan in the FA Cup. So Timber at right back, Gabriel and Saliba center backs. That's not a problem. Again, if there is going to be a rotation there, I think it should come at the weekend against Wigan. So Gabriel and Saliba, I think, will start, and I would be starting them as well, no questions asked. At left back, versus what I would do versus what he's going to do. I mean, I would have our Hincapié in there because Calafiori's looked a little bit shaky at times in the last game, showing some signs of rust, Calafiori. And Hincapié was brilliant in the match before. I think it was at Chelsea in the FA Cup semifinal. Hincapié was brilliant in the game, and he did really well, especially on the defensive end. So I would opt to start Hincapié. However, I think he is going to go with Calafiori, if I'm being completely honest. I think he'll go with Calafiori, and then I think it's just because he wants to get Calafiori back up to speed as soon as possible, right? There's no doubt over the course of the season, Calafiori has been our best left back. So I think the sooner he can get up to speed, that'll be better for us. And Calafiori is better going forward than Hincapié. It is to be said at this moment in time, and I think Brentford might come in with a little bit of a low block. So Calafiori should start. Or I think in Arteta's mind, Calafiori would and should start at left back to give us a little bit more on the defensive end, on the offensive end, sorry, especially when you're facing a team who will be, looking to low block and then attack on the transition. So Calafiori would likely start in my predicted 11 at least. In midfield, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. First of all, the two certain pillars in midfield are going to be Zubimendi and Declan Rice, and boy, do we need to keep those two fit. Those two are the glue of the team at the moment. So Zubimendi and Declan Rice are in midfield. I think guarantees in there. Now, the attacking midfield position, the number 10, attacking eight, whatever you want to call it. I was going to go with Kai Havertz, but the breaking news is Kai Havertz, and this is according to David Ornstein, who's reported a little bit earlier on today, um, and today being February 11th, I believe, if I get the date correct. Yeah, February 11th, Wednesday, February 11th. Now, at the time of recording, David Ornstein has reported Kai Havertz set for a spell on the sidelines with a muscular injury. Problem expected to keep 26-year-old Arsenal forward out of Arsenal games against Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur, but hoped not to be serious issue for the German international. This is a blow, no doubt about it. I would have had Kai Havertz starting in there because, I mean, he's been performing really well when he's been in there. And he's been looking to feed our strikers early and quickly, which is something we haven't been doing with Odegaard in the team. He causes a different problem, Havertz. So this is definitely a big blow for us that he's not going to be involved, Kai Havertz. But that just means next man up. Next man up, and in my opinion, should be Eze. This is now your chance to shine again, Eze. You've been out of the mix for a while now. Um, but some of our best runs earlier in the fall, right, October, November, has come when Eze's been in the team, and he needs to get his mojo back. So for me, I'm starting Eze in that attacking role if Kai Havertz is not available. Um, on the left, I would start Leandro Trossard if he's fit, but I don't think he's going to be fit personally. Um, at least not fit enough to start. So I think he will go with Martinelli, which is our only other option, right? Martinelli on that left wing, who's, to be fair, has been in form. He's been playing well, albeit off the bench too, but he's been playing well. Martinelli, he looks like he's hungry at the moment, so I give him that start on the left. Now on the right, Noni Madueke. Yes, he was pretty poor last game, but our Premier League game prior to that against Leeds, goal and an assist for him, right? So he just needs another maybe run of games. He is our direct backup to Bukayo Saka, let's be honest. I don't expect Saka to be fit, although we could be surprised. But Nani Madueke probably starts on that right wing. And then up top, you're looking at Victor Gyökeres, a man in form, a man who needs confidence, needs to run the games and needs that confidence to keep going. And he's been scoring. And Arteta touched on it in the press conference as well, right? Again, briefly, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said what Gyökeres needs is energy and confidence. When you score an assist, you have belief it's going to happen more often, right? Again, paraphrasing, but this is what Arteta said in his presser. And there's no doubt about it that that's true for a player like Gyökeres. He's now in form. He's been scoring goals, two last game against Sunderland, and we need him to step up again. And hopefully with the supporting cast around him, we get the ball into him quickly. He can do the business and get a goal or two in this game. That's my predicted 11. Massive, massive, massive game. Again, I'll run through it quickly. David Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Saliba Gabriel, center backs, Calafiori at left back. In midfield, Zubimendi, Declan Rice in the attacking midfield position. Eze on the left, Martinelli. On the right, Noni Madueke, and Victor Gyökeres up top. Now, if Leandro Trossard is fit, he would start on the left, in my opinion. I think Arteta would do that, but I'm expecting him not to be fit enough, at least not to start. So maybe on the bench. But the couple injury concerns at the moment, right? With Kai Havertz, Saka, yeah, Odegaard, and Leo himself. Marino's out long term. We know. So, the injuries are mounting up a little bit again, and but we got to kick on, especially after Liverpool. Sorry, after City's victory at Anfield against Liverpool, and then at the time of recording, we have just found out that Man City has beaten Fulham 3-0 at the Etihad Stadium. So massive, massive game tomorrow. Looking forward to it. We got to enjoy this journey, enjoy the ride. Nerves are going to kick in, but we gotta steady the ship because, we have a Premier League title to chase. So let's hope the boys can do it. Um, and it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, and I think if we can get 3 points here, again, we play, after tomorrow, we play again next midweek against Wolves. So win tomorrow and win against Wolves, right? City will have a game in hand at that point, but we have an opportunity to go nine clear with City having that game in hand. But you got to apply the points pressure, right? That's what it's all about, and keep that pressure on them. So win our games, control we can control, and let's see where it takes us. Again, we are adding a new feature. This is the pre-match preview, and we'll also do a post-game player ratings as well, right? So new features being added to the podcast as we continue to grow and develop. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff for us. It really does help the channel. And yeah, until the next one, let's go up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Looking for a big win tomorrow at Brentford and trying to collect another 3 points. See you next time.